progressively we will replace the energy we import, essentially oil, gas, by green energies. The end result is this. As we speak, if you look at the current consumption of energy in Quebec right now, it's about half renewable, half fossils. In 25 years from now, it will be 3/4 green energy, renewable energy, and only 1/4 fossils. That's the plan.
Okay.
C'est correct, ça?
Why? Well, close, except for the fossils, but that's okay. So James Mennie, Montreal Gazette, on the line right now. So, Jim, this announcement today, I don't know, this a bit of a surprise here? Or maybe given the fact that Quebec also blew off its commitment to, just electric cars, we've extended that deadline as well. Maybe this shouldn't come as a surprise.
I'll tell you straight up, I submitted both my topics to you today with a certain amount of trepidation because I looked at them both and went, he may want to call his lawyer after this. Because I and many of our listeners remember with very fondly of a time when you co-hosted a show, I think that was called Golden Oldies. Well, guess what? That's the theme of the Coalition Avenir Québec election campaign. Yeah. They have quite stolen your idea. And the fact is, here is Bernard Drainville. Bernard Drainville, God help us. 25 years from now, Aaron, it's going to be like 75% non-fossil fuels and 25% fossil fuels. And 25 years from now, if my grandmother has wheels, she'll be a wagon. You know what I mean? It's like this guy's talking. Yeah. This guy's talking in terms of first-degree murder sentences. And I'm not entirely sure. I'm probably wrong on my math. So I'll just play it safe. In 25 months, I'm not entirely sure Bernard Drainville will still be involved in politics. But you know what? You're going to do what you're going to do. But what I loved was how he kept on saying it's energy security. What he means is energy independence. Another recycled pay kiss to the Coalition Avenir Québec. And even though he wasn't there, if you listen very, very closely to that audio, Aaron, in the distance, you can hear the ghostly voice of Francois Legault saying, I don't want your dirty Canadian oil. This is going to be the thing, right? It's wind, it's water, it's the sun, it's all of the elements, Aaron. The problem is it's all going to turn into a supernova the first Monday in October when the Coalition Avenir either ceases to exist or becomes a small fragment of, asteroids between, Jupiter and Mars. But that said, it's great to hear them talk. But man, oh man, if this is what they got, if this is even close to being what their fastball is, they're already gone. They're already history, my friend. This idea, for God's sake, and I'm sure because it's just before, a chat. So, you got your how can I put it, your more junior staff members out there questioning the guy. But the fact is, I wonder if anyone raised the fact that Monsieur Drainville, you happen to be the energy minister in a jurisdiction where per capita ownership of SUVs and F-150s. F-150s, my friend. Yeah. No, not the electric kind. F-150s, mm-hmm. the traditional, let's blow smoke like the Titanic F-150s, is with the number one consumers in Quebec. Je m'excuse. You turn around to the regions that support the CAQ. You turn around to the regions that support the CAQ, they'll say, hey, on a besoin de ça, là. On se trouve pas à Montréal. We can't get a bus at every corner. We don't take the metro. We have distances to travel, and we need reliable, comfortable vehicles, and F-150s and SUVs cover that. And believe me, I didn't hear Monsieur Drainville turn around and think, well, we're going to actually be able to encapsulate these power sources so they actually fit very easily into F-150s or SUVs, because that ain't going to happen, buddy. The fact of the matter is they're all whistling with increasing volume past a very, very large political graveyard that, over the gateway, it's just, written in wrought iron. Coalition Avenir Québec.
By the way, Jim, I got to tell you, I love your Francois Legault imitation, which sounds like Blackjack Shellac. Remember for the old Bugs Bunny? It's real.
Yeah. Why don't you just give me your money?
If only he had spoken like that.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, it is. By the way, today, Bernard Drainville, he also hinted this thing about, and I haven't ruled out nuclear. Where's he going with that, do you think?
Well, because you never know. Because, nuclear, he's trying to figure out which power source will get the less grief from the environmental lobby.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, as we saw with that poor Steve Guilbeault, it was not quite the crisis, the political crisis that many Quebec oh non, c'est fini pourtant, ni maintenant, là, avec Guilbeault, il est quitté. No. I'm sorry. Right now, people, and they shouldn't, really, we should be responsible, but people have got a lot more on their minds than the greenhouse gas that they or their rides are producing. It's not right, but I'm sorry, that's the reality right now. And until you can distract people with things like, oh, no, you don't have to worry about affordability, or you don't have to worry about the economy, you don't have to worry about finding a roof over your head. Yeah. Until you settle those questions, I hate to say it, I'm not saying it's right, but the environmental issue has got to go to one side.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Yeah, sorry, that's Bernard Drainville.
That is the best. That's the best clip I think you guys ever grabbed.
Reacting to anything we could have him, because he just, some of the stuff that gets brought up, he doesn't seem to really fully understand or grasp, but whatever. I will tell you, Jim, I mentioned this off the top of the show. I had lunch with a couple of people. I'm not going to mention who they were, but two pretty, people who I respect, pretty smart people. And at one point, the conversation turned to, how do you think the election's going and who do you think will win? And both of these people, both men, said they thought Christine Frechette was going to win. I almost dropped my lunch when they said that, but that's what they think.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Hey, anything's possible, buddy. I mean, I learned how to analyze politics by playing the ponies, and you know what? You don't really know how the odds are going to break until just before post time. So let's wait and see. There's a lot of ground to cover. Like even today, Exhibit 2. I'm telling you, you got a lawsuit going here, buddy. Premier Christine Frechette, she is going to spend $125 million of our money to revitalize East End Montreal. Right? There's a big chunk of real estate used to belong to the SO refinery. It's going to have to be decontaminated. God knows what the hell is down there. If they dig far enough, as far as I'm concerned, they're going to find Godzilla. But that's just my opinion. But the fact of the matter is, they're going to go in there, $125 million. But Aaron, if I had a nickel for every Quebec politician who says they are going to revitalize the East End of Montreal, I would coincidentally have $125 million.
Yeah, I get it.
So this is where we are. But as I say, they got nothing. Jette les poudres aux yeux, as we say in these parts, right? All they have is a lot of stardust that they're putting around. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Yeah.
It's interesting, though, isn't it, Jim, how many of these announcements they've been flooding us with, right? After 8 years of basically doing, not a whole lot of anything, and suddenly, with an election looming a couple of months away, it seems every other day there's some kind of announcement from Christine Frechette from this government.
But this is the thing. If you've watched the movie Titanic, we're at the point where just before the stern breaks off and the guy goes toppling off and hits the propeller, that's where we are with the Coalition Avenir Québec right now. Okay, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's how quickly the whole ship is going to sink. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be positive here. I want to be a good little Democrat, mais franchement, after 8 years of having this entire province step on a rake day after day after day, believe me, with all due respect to your lunch dates, ain't going to happen.
You said it's not decided till they get to the post. I think maybe in this election it won't be decided till they're in the stretch. Right? There's a long way to go.
Hey,
here.
Listen.
Yeah.
But you know what? And who knows? We've seen stuff turn on gas, on the wrong word being said at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I look at these guys, Aaron, and I'm just slapping my forehead and says, you've got nothing. You've got nothing new. You are playing, as I hate to say it, golden oldies, my friend.
Saturday Night Oldies. Yeah, I just remembered. Thanks for reminding me, Jim.
That was a great show, buddy.
Thank you. Wait a sec. Before we get out of here, I started the show today because it's, of course, Canada Day tomorrow, our birthday, celebrating 159 years of Canada. And there's a new Angus Reid poll out today that shows most Canadians are optimistic about this country. I want to know what you think.
You know why I'm optimistic about this country? It's not about polls, and it's not about politicians yapping away. One of your callers this afternoon, I thought was very apt. It's the word I always use to describe this country and most of the people who live in it: decent. We have an innate sense of decency in this country that you'd be very hard pressed to find elsewhere in the world. Okay, I don't know what it is. I'm not strutting around like some Americans saying, we're better than us. but there is some innate decency in Canadians. And, whether you go see, Come From Away or whether you just hear stories of people looking after other people in this country simply because it's the right thing to do, we will do it. The other thing that gives me optimism, Aaron, is when you've got a guy like my man, Brian Calasar, saying out loud what a lot of people are saying, which is, I love this country, I want to see it. But Prime Minister Carney, could you tell your greedhead friends running Air Canada or running Via Rail, running all the ways I could see this country, which is one of the largest countries on earth, could you give us a break and let us see our country without having to triple mortgage our house? Because I think, you know what, you want to instill national pride, Aaron? Show people where they live.
I think a valid point made by your own producer, Brian. I think, as I said, a lot of people agree. And I said the other issue, of course, is, we tend to look down south where people travel across. Hopping from one state to another is like a 2-hour drive. Here, of course, to get anywhere across this country takes hours and hours and hours. But you're right,
Aaron,
Jim. It shouldn't cost $1,000 to fly to Vancouver.
But even you and I, when you did your Odyssey, or you did your road trip through Quebec, and there were two things. One, you realized just how freaking big this place is. Okay, and two, how not all of it, but a lot of it is so absurdly beautiful. Yeah. And most of the people who are listening to us right now would have absolutely no idea what we're talking about.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Maybe that should be an initiative that the Prime Minister, takes on, because I think you're right. I think for most Canadians, they feel exactly the same way. Jim, I thank you. You have a happy Canada Day tomorrow. We'll talk to you on Thursday. Well, I guess you're here tomorrow, but I'm not.
Oh, I always work, Aaron. Not like you, gallivanting, having a, Yeah, no, as long as you don't go down shopping to Plattsburgh, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm hanging out with Jacques Chalac, Blackjack Chalac. We'll spend some time tomorrow.
Okay.
Listen, and you're there for heart-wrenching knockouts.
The world's biggest stage.
And breathtaking triumph. 2026 FIFA World Cup. The knockout stage. Every match, every moment. Listen on TSN Radio. Join the globe on the road to the July 19th final. 2026 FIFA World Cup. Stream it all live on TSN Radio. Available on iHeartRadio.